Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It's November 9th, 2022 and there is optimism in Camp Barca in regards to the signing of Zubimendi to replace Sergio Busquets. Also, Juventus has entered the race for Chelsea's midfielder Jorginho, and it's reported that Barcelona are currently eyeing Manchester City's defender Aymerick Laporte. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and as I reported in yesterday's video, Barcelona defeated Osasuna 1-2 by mounting a heroic comeback despite being one man down when Robert Lewandowski was expelled during the first half after receiving 2 consecutive yellow cards. Now, as I said in yesterday's video, this match was not necessarily Barcelona's best performance, especially during the first half where they were unable to come out of Osasuna's high press and where they kept losing the ball in dangerous areas. But it was still great to see the team's winning mentality and fighting spirit, and seeing the team come together and be able to fight until the last second. And as a result, Barcelona scored 2 goals in the second half, one by Pedri and a stunning goal by Rafinha. Now, even though I would rather see Barcelona win matches intelligently and by playing beautiful football instead of scrapping and fighting until the last second, it's good to know that Barcelona have that side to them and that they can turn it on whenever things are going bad, and they can adapt to the circumstances and turn on their fighting spirits and win the match with grit and determination. Now, this is no thanks to other than Xavi Hernandez, who has been able to instill this winning and fighting mentality in the players, as opposed to past seasons where whenever an opponent would score against Barcelona, the players' morale would take a nosedive, the team would fall apart, and the players would completely give up. And I have no doubt that these circumstances would have happened last season or the season before. There's no doubt that the team would have crumbled and that Barcelona would have lost that match. Now, in the post-match press conference, Xavi expressed his happiness with the team's attitude, and he said, "I am really proud of the team, of the family that we are inside the dressing room. Everything was against us today. The refereeing decisions, the goal, going down to 10. We were intelligent. We took our moments well and were clinical with the chances that we had. We were solid in the second half, worked hard, and we will be leaders during the World Cup break. It's a team win today. I am very proud." Now, Xavi was also asked about the refereeing decisions that were, in my opinion, awful decisions, starting with Osasuna's goal that should have clearly been disallowed thanks to Unai Garcia's foul against Marcos Alonso in the penalty box, and also Robert Lewandowski's send-off where he didn't deserve to receive the first yellow card. And in regards to his refereeing calls, Xavi said, "I am told their goal is a clear foul, a block on Alonso at the corner. The red card, in my opinion, it is dubious. But it doesn't matter what I say. What's important is what the referee thinks, who won't speak today. I think they should have to come out and explain decisions because a lot is at stake." Now, I have talked about this a lot in my previous videos, and I've actually made a specific video about the refereeing in La Liga, and I will leave the link for that video at the end of this video. But I've always said that the refereeing in Spain is currently at an awful level, and there have been a lot of bad refereeing calls in many of Barcelona's matches and other La Liga matches, and La Liga and the Spanish Football Federation should seriously consider implementing reforms to improve the refereeing in Spain, because this is absolutely unacceptable in one of the world's top leagues, and especially during the age of the VAR. Now, Xavi has suggested one thing that he has suggested before, which is that referees need to have press conferences after matches in order to explain their decisions. And I think that referees should be required to do this, because by explaining the decisions, this could give a clear indication to La Liga on what rules are being misinterpreted by the referees, and therefore the La Liga could then go ahead and explain those rules much better by either rewriting them to make them clearer, or by retraining the referees on how to apply these rules. And by doing this, La Liga would be then obtaining uniformity amongst all the referees, who would then apply the same rule the same exact way, instead of having different referees applying the same exact rule different ways, like what the current situation is right now in La Liga. Now, Robert Lewandowski was not the only player to receive a red card in yesterday's match. Pique, who was on the bench, also received a red card during halftime when he followed the referee Gil Manzano into the tunnel and complained about his decisions. And we now know what Pique said to Gil Manzano thanks to the refereeing report that read, "Gerard was expelled for the following reason. Once the first half was over, already testing inside the locker room tunnel for addressing me in the following terms. Have you seen which corner you hit us? You are the referee who has screwed us the most by far. Other incidents, once expelled and when he was heading towards the exit of the field, the player twice made a gesture of disapproval of the referee's decision. consisting of putting his finger to his nose and then pointing to his thumb towards the referee. When he was about to leave the field of play, he repeated the gesture again, looking at the assistant referee in front of the fourth official. Pique, once the club delegate was informed of the expulsion of this player, he continued to repeat the same expressions described in the section on expulsions, having to be brought into the locker room by staff from his club while addressing me in the following terms. It is an effing shame. I on your effing mother. Now, I can't necessarily repeat those words exactly because I could get censored by YouTube, but you can get a clear indication of what Gerard Piqué was trying to say to the referee. And even though I usually don't condone when players talk like this to the referees, and even though Piqué did deserve that red card and he should have not done that professionally speaking, Gerard Piqué did tell the referee what all of us Barcelona fans were thinking, because Gil Manzano has screwed us many times before. In fact, he has given Barcelona 9 red cards in only 23 matches. And amongst those red carded players are Lionel Messi, Neymar, Luis Suarez, and now Robert Lewandowski. And he is the only referee who has done that before. Now, Gil Manzano is a very known Madridista, and he has been seen many times visiting Madrid's fan clubs. And he's even a referee who was involved in a scandal a few years ago when he was seen leaving the Santiago Bernabeu with bags full of gifts with the Real Madrid emblem on them. Now, this was Gerard Piqué's last match as a football player, and it was also Barcelona's last match prior to heading to the World Cup break. And with this victory, Barcelona are now leaders of La Liga, and they are 5 points ahead of Real Madrid, at least until tomorrow when Los Blancos will face off against Cadiz in their last match before the World Cup. Now, even if Real Madrid win that match, Barcelona will still be leaders all through the World Cup break, thanks to that defeat that Real Madrid suffered at the hands of Rayo Vallecano. Now, Barcelona are not only the leaders of the league in regards to points, they also have the best record at home, the best record away, the most goals scored, and the least goals conceded. And Barcelona have been able to obtain 37 out of 42 possible points, which has made them the leaders of the Spanish league. Now, with this start to the season, Xavi has now had the best start to a season in the last 10 years in Barcelona's history. And of course, as I reported previously, Xavi has also matched Pep Guardiola's record in his first 38 matches at the helm of Barcelona. Now, all these great achievements go to all of the haters that are constantly calling for Xavi to be fired and who are constantly posting hashtag Xavi out. Well, here you go. Here's your bad coach that you want him out. He has matched Pep Guardiola's record. He right now has the best start to La Liga in the last 10 years, and he now not only is the leader of the Spanish league, but he also has all kinds of records which show that Xavi is doing a good job in building this project. Now, on to the news. There is currently optimism in Camp Barca in regards to the signing of Zubimendi. Now, as I've been talking about for several weeks now, Barcelona are looking to replace Sergio Busquets, whose contract will expire with the club at the end of the season, and it's reported that Barcelona have 10 different options on the table on who could be Sergio Busquets' replacement. Now, one of those options is, of course, Real Sociedad's midfielder Zubimendi. However, he has a 60 million euro release clause, which has made Barcelona hesitant on spending that kind of money because they consider that this investment could be risky. Now, despite all of this, Xavi is still not ceding and is insisting on having Zubimendi to replace Sergio Busquets because it's reported that Xavi is very impressed with the player's positional play, with his touch, and of course with his young age of 23 years old. Now, due to Xavi's insistence on having Zubimendi on his squad, Barcelona has now began communications with the players' camp, and Jordi Cruyff has intensified the talks with Zubimendi's agent, Iñaki Ibanez, who Jordi Cruyff has a very good relationship with because Iñaki Ibanez was also Jordi Cruyff's agent when Jordi Cruyff was a player, and Iñaki Ibanez has also worked with Barcelona on deals in the past, including the arrival of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as a free agent this past winter transfer market. Now, Barcelona are currently hoping to negotiate the 60 million euro release clause that Zubimendi has down, or to agree on a payment schedule, or to even include some cash and a player in exchange for Zubimendi. And it's reported that Barcelona don't want their relationship with Real Sociedad to become hostile, so they're only willing to sign the player if they could arrive at an amicable solution, at a friendly deal. So we're gonna have to see whether Barcelona will be able to obtain this, but as of now, there is optimism in Barcelona's camp in regards to the signing of Zubimendi. And even though he did extend his contract with Real Sociedad from 2024 until 2027. Barcelona consider that the fact that the release clause remains 60 million euros, that is a positive sign. Now, one of the other options that Barcelona were considering is of course the signing of the Italian midfielder Jorginho. Now, unlike Zubimendi, Jorginho would cost Barcelona 0 euros because his contract with Chelsea will expire in the summer of 2023, and it's reported that the Premier League club are not willing to extend his contract because they don't want to pay the salary that Jorginho has demanded, which is 13.6 million euros. Well, it's now being reported that Juventus has entered the race for the Italian midfielder, and Juventus are offering Jorginho a very similar salary to what he's currently demanding, and they're also using the loose tax structure in Italy as a positive to try to convince the player to arrive in Italy. Now, it's reported that Juventus want to close the deal of Jorginho as soon as the winter transfer market, when Jorginho will enter the last 6 months of his contract and he will be allowed to reach a pre-agreement with his future club. Now, Barcelona have been informed about Juventus' interest in Jorginho, so we're gonna have to see how the club responds to this interest. Now, as I reported previously, Barcelona have chosen Íñigo Martínez to replace Gerard Pique, who has now retired from football. Now, it's reported that Barcelona have a deal in place with Íñigo Martínez, whose contract will expire with Athletic Club in the summer of 2023, so he could arrive in Barcelona as a free agent. It's now being reported that if Barcelona cannot sign Íñigo Martínez for any reason, that they have chosen his replacement to be Manchester City's defender Aymerick Laporte. Now, Laporte is a 28-year-old center back who currently plays at the Premier League club, and this will be a more difficult signing than Íñigo Martínez because he has a contract until 2025, and because most likely Manchester City are going to demand a hefty price for their defender. Now, on to the news that Robert Lewandowski received today his Golden Boot for being the highest scorer in the Europe leagues last season. Now, this is Robert Lewandowski's second Golden Boot in a row, and upon the receipt of this trophy, Robert Lewandowski talked about his life in Barcelona, and he said, "I'm sure the next year will be very good. Now I know why Barcelona is more than a club, and it is very important. We're on the right path. What happened yesterday, comeback win at Osasuna, was good. These games show the desire we have to win." Now, speaking of Robert Lewandowski, as I reported previously, the departure of Gerard Pique has left a captain vacancy open, and it's reported that the team will most likely vote in Marc ter Stegen as Barcelona's fourth captain. But there is talk now that some will most likely vote for Robert Lewandowski, who has taken a leadership role in the locker room and on the field, and where he has been helping the young players improve their game. Now, speaking of leadership, it's reported that Barcelona are very impressed with the leadership skills that Andreas Christensen has been showing in the locker room and on the field, where he has taken command of the defense. And speaking of Christensen, he has now become the second Barcelona player to be officially called up to the World Cup after Denmark submitted their official roster. And of course, he is the second player right after Rafinha, who has also been officially confirmed to be a member of the Brazilian squad in the 2022 Qatar World Cup. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I'd like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. And as always, peace, guys.